So I used to think some people are just born with confidence and are just naturally extroverted and they're gifted in some way that I'm not. But that wasn't true. I didn't have to become louder or more extroverted or anything like that or change my personality at all in order to feel more confident from within. These hacks are gonna work for you regardless of whether you are super shy, super quiet, you think people hate you, or if you just think you ain't got it, it's gonna work for you. And this is not something I learned in a book. This is not from ChatGPT. This is from my lived experience and things that I had to learn the hard way. So it's literally gonna save you years if you apply these things. So learn from me and my failures so you don't have to go through the same pain that I did. Before we get into the video, I just want to thank everybody who is here and everybody who's subscribed to my channel. I just want to thank you for being part of this journey and part of my army. I'm building an army here, okay? So before we get started and give you the actual hacks, let's talk about why you are this way, why you lost your confidence in the first place. And I say lost because we are all born confident, okay? We are all born whole and in our true self. We do not suffer with the plethora of shit that we humans are plagued with later on in life. As a baby, you have a full bar of confidence. You totally believe in yourself. Worthiness isn't an issue. And, you know, a baby doesn't think, oh, I must not be worthy of milk. I must not be worthy of nourishment. I must not be good enough. Oh, why did somebody look away when I was trying to get their attention? Maybe there's something wrong with me. So when we're born, we're naturally confident. We're naturally fully ourselves. And we're present. And we're just being. We're just enjoying reality. And then trauma happens. And we are extremely relationally dependent as humans. And as a human child, as a human baby, toddler, if you do not align with your social group and what your parents want you to be and do and how they want you to please them, your biology is wired for survival, right? And being outcast of a group as a child that young means death, because we are so relationally dependent. Like, we literally can't walk when we're born, and other animals walk straight away. They're already born independent. And we are stuck on the nipple for like 2 years. Some people breastfeed that long, and it's apparently more natural that way, but anyway. We are super relationally dependent, that is the point. You cannot leave a 2-year-old outside by themselves and think that they can fend for themselves, okay? The 2-year-old is going to do whatever the heck it needs to do in order to be part of the group. And whether that means abandoning parts of yourself in order to fit in and do that, then that's what you're going to do. So we go through this process of domestication. We lose touch with our natural true self, our natural state of being. And so if you are a people pleaser, if you are struggling with loving yourself, if you're struggling with any of these things, confidence, whatever, this is all due to that process. It's not you, it's not your fault, but as a child you internalized it. Something's wrong with me because I can't fit into this group. They want me to be like this. Oh, I have to abandon a part of myself, and that goes into the shadow. So you end up with a person who hates themselves and is only half whole. And you think that this is your personality, but you've still got all this stuff in the shadow. I've already talked about this stuff a lot in my reels, but let's just say you come from a family background of people who are not in touch with their negative emotions, and they tend to hide them and project a positive persona. And they always want family members to be so positive, and they basically shun you for your emotions. Why are you so crabby? Why are you like this? What's wrong with you? When you displayed any negative emotions. So now you identify with a part of yourself that is super happy and bubbly and outgoing, and then the part of you who's like super depressed is like in your shadow, and it's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere, but it's like acting out in weird subconscious ways and sabotaging you. All you want to do is basically integrate that, because you are a whole human being and you need those negative emotions. They are a part of you, and they are here to tell you something very valuable about yourself, and they are your compass. You can't just cut off a part of yourself. It doesn't work like that. The point of this work is to integrate and become whole again, and then you start feeling naturally more confident and better about yourself and just more whole and confident in the world. Now let's get into the actual hacks. Hack number 1 is do not believe what your thoughts say. Question your thoughts and question your beliefs. You can look up on YouTube any video about how to change a belief, but you can simply start right now with not believing your thoughts. First of all, become aware of your thoughts. So slow down your mind and meditate so you can actually slow it down and become aware of what is going on. And then notice your thoughts as they are coming in and be like, I am noticing a thought occurring that is telling me that I am not good enough. Curious, I wonder why. Where does that come from? And you don't identify with them. You see them as just passing things. They are not the truth of who you are. They're just thoughts. So you want to identify your beliefs as well and consciously do belief work and change them. Get to the root of it. Step number 2 is do not make assumptions. So I used to assume that people hate me. I used to assume that if somebody doesn't look at me a certain way, or actually I had this experience a lot where people would talk over me. Like my voice was really shut down at one point and it was really quiet, and so no wonder people talked over me, but I just made that mean that something's wrong with me, people don't like me. Not true, by the way, but that's the aura that I was projecting because of my internal beliefs, which was affecting my voice and my ability to speak, which naturally turned people away from me. I made people turning away from me mean, see, that means that I'm not good enough. That means that they hate me. And then it would just perpetuate and fuel the belief. Do you see where I'm going with this? Beliefs are self-perpetuating. They will cause a certain effect, and then they will take that effect as proof to back themselves up, which would cause more of the effect, and then it proves the belief even more, and it solidifies even more. So it's like a loop, and soon enough you're in hell when you go on that loop. So you don't want to do that. What you want to do is uproot the beliefs and change the belief so that it's a positive one, and then look for positive proof to back up your new belief. So now you're in a positive spiral. But anyway, step number 2 was to stop making assumptions. Usually things are not personal, and when you create assumptions in your brain, you're just harming yourself. It's not true. It's the same as the first one. It's the thoughts, right? They're just thoughts, just watch them. Step number 4 is do not take things personally. So when somebody says something about you or something that you don't like, you gotta just have the balls to step back and be like, oh, that wasn't personal. And recognize that they're probably projecting onto you, and whatever they said about you is a mirror of how they think about themselves. So usually if somebody is picking on you, it's because they're insecure. And if you have a bully, if you have somebody in your life that is narcissistic or is picking on you, that person is insecure as shit. So you've gotta look at that and have compassion for that person, because they're only doing that to you because they're hurting inside. If you have compassion, then you can remove yourself from what they are projecting onto you and just see like, wow, this is really about them. This actually has nothing to do with me. Step number 5 is stop putting people on a pedestal. Super important, you guys. I know a lot of you do this. Calling you out, calling you out. I don't care if it's a celebrity, if it's your favorite YouTuber, if it's your mom, whatever they are, I don't care. Stop putting people on a pedestal and center yourself. As a kid, you might have been told you are not the center of the universe. Bullshit. Call bullshit on that, because we are reclaiming your life here. You're not to be living for other people. You are to be living for yourself. And when you put others on a pedestal and make them super important, you tend to put yourself down, and then you have a needy energy towards them, which is super unattractive. If you want to become magnetic, you've got to take people off the pedestal and love yourself. Center yourself, like do things for you. That doesn't mean be selfish, by the way. That doesn't mean be a narcissist and like disregard other people. No. Have compassion, have love, of course. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, don't be selfish. Be self first. That's the difference. Those people who you think are so high up on a pedestal are flawed human beings. They're just like you, or maybe even worse. Maybe hiding their flaws, I don't know. But they're not better than you. You only think that because of your low self-worth and your self-beliefs that have been formed in childhood. And if you were really worthy and really feeling good about yourself, you wouldn't be pedestalizing them. You would see them as equal. Because truly, if we are all one, then we are all equal. We are the same consciousness, right? Step 6 is advocate for yourself. That was super hard for me. I used to just let people like walk all over me and do whatever they want to me, and then I would feel resentful. You want to stop this whole loop going on. You want to advocate for yourself as if you are your own best friend. Because if you don't do that for yourself, nobody is going to do that for you. People mirror how you treat yourself. Okay, I don't want to say that nobody's gonna like look after you or anything, but you can't rely on people to do that for you. You've got to do that for you. You've got to stand up and say something when you don't like something, when somebody's putting you down. This is super hard for people pleasers, but if you can manage to do this one, a lot will shift for you. I promise you that. Don't just be agreeable and let things happen to you. Stand up for yourself. Step number 7 is stop being self-absorbed and thinking constantly when you're in conversation with somebody about what are they thinking of me? How are they perceiving me? No. Stop doing that, okay? You're not doing that anymore. This is different from centering yourself. Centering yourself doesn't mean being self-absorbed. Centering yourself just means being present, being in your body, feeling your feelings, feeling your boundaries come up, advocating for yourself, loving yourself, and doing things for you. That's centering yourself. But being self-absorbed is, well, my camera died, so I went to make myself a hot chocolate. What I was last saying was that being self-absorbed is different to centering yourself and making yourself your own priority and being self-loving. Being self-absorbed is like constantly thinking that everyone is thinking about you and just being in your own head. Although when I looked up the definition, it was quite similar to narcissism actually. So perhaps I'm not using the best terminology here, but I hope you can see the difference energetically with where we're going with this. We're going towards self-love, but not to the exclusion of others, okay? We're still loving other people. The last bit that ties it all together is presence. So instead of being self-absorbed and thinking about yourself, be present with the person in front of you and actually focus on them and diving into their internal world instead of thinking about yourself and what they're thinking about you. Just focus on the presence of the moment and what the person's saying and being curious about them, and that's gonna get you out of your head. And the last bit is that it's a practice. All of these things that I've just mentioned they're not hard rules. They're not something that you're just gonna grasp in like 5 minutes. It's something that you're going to practice throughout your days as you interact with people, coworkers, and so on, and catch yourself in the moment where your mind is making up stories. Catch yourself when you're putting people on a pedestal, and then just gently remind yourself, not beat yourself up about it, but just redirect your attention back to where you want it to go. So yeah, thank you guys for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful new year. I am opening myself up for coaching for the next year. If you are ready to step into your best self and shed all these patterns that you've been living in for a long time, and you want some extra help with that, I am available. And make sure to check out my Instagram for more art, and subscribe if you like this video, and comment your experience down below. I'd love to hear how you resonated with this. Bye!